Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Tabitha, and I'd like to welcome you to Tuesdays with Tabitha, a weekly live show packed with tips to help you resolve conflict in your workplace and on your team. I'm your host, Tabitha, and today we are going to talk about the 3 steps to becoming an effective manager. If this is the first time we've met, my name is Tabitha Liebert, and I am an attorney, a conflict manager, and an HR manager. And I help professional women of faith who are overwhelmed by workplace conflict lead thriving teams with confidence. I do that by helping you to use all 5 of the conflict styles so that you can lead, whether you're in the boardroom, the conference room, the classroom, or any other room that you're in. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 steps to becoming an effective manager. And it's important to be effective when you're managing your team because you want to prevent struggles. You want to prevent issues on your team. You want to prevent struggles over values, because in today's world, we want to create an environment where everyone can come into work, be comfortable, that they are bringing their whole selves to work, and that they are able to work without any other values being imposed on them. As an effective leader, you also want to prevent struggles around status and power. You don't want people who are reporting to other people to be fighting with each other. You don't want people reporting to you to be fighting with each other. You don't want people struggling for attention, trying to see who is doing more of what. You want everyone to understand what they are doing in the workplace and to do it well. And also, as an effective leader, you want to manage resources. So you don't want struggles over scarce resources either. You want to be sure that everyone has everything that they need so that they can do the work well. And you want to do this because if I know you well enough, you are a wholehearted leader and you want to serve your team wholeheartedly and serve your organization wholeheartedly. If wholehearted service is part of your values, then you're going to want to listen to this so that you can prevent a situation where you might be undervalued at work, you might be dismissed from important things, and you might not be taken seriously. In today's world, if we take a moment and we think about 2020 and everything that happened, we understand right away that it was a lot. We saw a lot of things happen in governments around the world. We saw a lot of things happen with politics around the world. And we saw a lot of things happen with social justice issues around the world. And some people leaned into it and were able to express themselves. Others were a little silent and they fell back, not always agreeing with what was happening, but not necessarily knowing what to say in the face of systemic oppression of Black and Indigenous people of color in the community, and in the face of asserting things against those people. And if you were a leader who saw things that were wrong and were not able to say anything, or you might have felt forced to take a side when you felt that both people were wrong on both sides, or you felt that one of the sides was wrong, but you were forced to take a side, or even if you were that leader who just kept their head down and worked regardless of what was going on around them, remember that everything that happened placed an imprint on you and placed an imprint on everyone else who has been experiencing it. Because like I always like to talk about when we come on our Tuesdays with Tabitha Live, and I also talk about when I'm working with my clients, we remember that leaders are a part of an ecosystem. You are a leader. Within your ecosystem, you have yourself and you have everyone personally connected to you, your family members, your extended family, people you're responsible for, and you also have your civic roles in your churches and other organizations where you show up. Now, that's only you. Remember that the people reporting to you also have their own ecosystems, and the people to whom you report have their ecosystems. So everything that has been happening has impacted everyone. And if you want to be able to move through life, move through leadership, and move through your organization, making an impact on your community, and most importantly, being seen in the organization as a true leader, as a strong leader, and as an effective leader, there are three things that I want to share with you that can help you do that. The first is almost like a doozy. It's there and we know what it is, but it is still worth saying because it is so important. And that is to make time to engage with your team. Yes, we always talk about it because it is always your first obligation. Make time to engage your team. Be prepared to have courageous conversations if you need to. There might be hard things that you don't want to talk about, but take some time. Prepare in your mind what you're thinking and what you would like to say, and then show up for your team and raise the conversation. It can be as easy as saying, I've noticed that, and then you start telling them what you notice. And once you do that, you stop and you ask their opinions. Ask them what they think. Ask them how it's impacting them, their lives, their emotions, their finances. Ask them. As a leader, you want to be sure that you are able to hear your team and get in front of any issues that they might be facing so that they can show up for themselves and for your organization. Whether you are in corporate, whether you are in a nonprofit environment, or an entrepreneur running your own business, it's always important to tap into your team, be in tune with them and what's happening with them. And a good way to do that is to always have one-on-ones. Have a one-on-one, spend half an hour talking with each team member separately and building that personal relationship. And even if you're not able to invest that amount of time, find a way to gather the entire team and just have a one-on-one. Let it be more about them than more about the company and the work. So a one-on-one is not for us to meet and review the work that we're doing and figure out how far we've gone and what else we have to do next. A one-on-one is just a wrap session. How are you doing? How's life? How are you showing up? Have it virtually, have it face-to-face, social distancing with masks on, but however you do it, invest some time in your team. Make that your go-to remedy for getting in touch and staying in touch with them. So that is step one. Make time to engage with your team. Now, the second step to being an effective manager is to design a winning system. Now, I'm going to just admit this up front. Systems design is not sexy. But your operating system inside of your business is the lifeblood of your business. The system is what everyone is going to use to move the work forward with or without you. You know that you have a good system if something happens. You can't show up for work for a full week, but everyone knows what to do. Everyone knows when, why, where, and how. That is the hallmark of a good system. And so if you want to have a perfectly running system that is the lifeblood for your business, ensure that when you set it up, it is fair. It is fair to everyone. The work is given out even-handedly. Everyone has a fair amount of work to do in a fair amount of time. Also, let your system give everyone equal opportunity. So everyone must have the same opportunities on your team. Of course, different team members are going to have different roles, but no one should be more advantaged than the other. And when you're creating your system, be sure to allow your team to have a say in it. Let them have the opportunity to be represented and to contribute to what that system is. And be sure not to make a final decision on that system and sign off on it unless everyone has had a seat at the table and was represented and is able to speak to what it is. So step 2 to being an effective manager is to design a winning system. And the third step to being an effective manager is to be able to use and transition through all 5 of the conflict styles. And those conflict styles are directing, harmonizing, avoiding, cooperating, and compromising. Each conflict style is appropriate for a different situation. There's some of them that are appropriate when the relationship is more important than the agenda or the outcome. And those are harmonizing and cooperating. There are other conflict styles that are more appropriate when the outcome or the agenda is more important than the relationship. And those conflict styles are directing or avoiding. But whichever one you're using, and the compromising conflict style is in the middle, neither a high relationship or a high outcome. Now, knowing when to use those conflict styles is key. And I've done quite a number of sessions on the conflict styles, what they are, and when they're used. So if you'd like to hear one of them, send me a message or send me a DM, and I can surely send you the replay so you can hear how those conflict styles work. But that is your third step for being an effective leader, being able to transition through all 5 of those conflict styles as you lead your team, as you give them instructions, as you follow up with them, and as you get work done. There is a study by the CPP, and that is an organization that was charged with doing a worldwide study of conflict. And what they found was that each individual each week spends at least 2 hours dealing with conflict, interrupting their workflow. At least 2.1 hours each week dealing with workplace and team conflict. What could you get back if you had 2 hours every week, 2 conflict-free hours every week to dedicate to yourself, to your team, to your family? If you wanted to do that without having to keep quiet about disagreements, without having to avoid conflict and turn your face away when there's something that needs to be done, or without having to worry about if you're being too directing, if you're being too firm, instead of being quiet, or poorly handling disagreements because you don't know how to manage the conflict styles. If you would like to get 2 conflict-free hours back in your day, touch base with me. Send me a DM, send me a message, and I would be happy to talk with you about the conflict styles. I'd be more than happy to walk you through them, to help you use all 5 of the conflict styles, and to help you manage your thriving team with confidence, whether you are in the conference room, the classroom, the boardroom, or an entrepreneur running your own business. So that's all for today. That's our show. Today is a wrap for Tuesdays with Tabitha. If you've enjoyed this, let me know in the comments or drop a heart or an emoji so that I can touch base with you. And if you want to learn how to use all 5 conflict styles so that you can lead your team with confidence, show up for your team, show up for yourself, and be the kind of leader that people look at and say, yes, this is someone who can get things done. And reach out to me, touch base with me by DM, and I will be more than happy to walk you through how you can do that. Love you. Take care.